Hi, I'm Dr. Stephen Todd, and I'm your professor for the upcoming Graduate Ministry Practicum course here at the King's University. Now, there are really kind of two tracks to this course. The first one, the obvious one, is that you're involved or you're going to be involved in some kind of ministry engagement. Perhaps you're already on staff at a church or part-time staff, but maybe you're in a volunteer position, but you are going to be doing something where your activity, your ministry activity can be a little bit observed and supervised. You probably already got that rather overwhelming ministry practicum packet that has the contract and you find a supervisor and all those things. I want to just say right off the bat, take a deep breath. Don't worry about it. Everybody's going to do great in this course. So we have that track. You need to be involved in some kind of ministry setting. But the second track, which is where I suppose I come in, is not just to check off when you get something signed or when you send some documents in, though there is that, and I will do that, of course. But I want this to be something of value to you. You're signing up for this course. You want not just to check off the list, you want something of value. And so we're going to take the next 15 weeks, and that's important. This is not one of those crammed in 7-week online classes. We've got the whole semester, so you've got time. And we're going to just slowly find a rhythm so that you can, while you're doing your ministry setting, your ministry engagement, you can work on some areas. So we're going to be meeting up weekly. It's a very short period of time. It's not going to be a lot of homework or anything like that. But I just wanted to kind of give you an oversight into what we're going to do. Well, first, I want to tell you a little bit about myself because I feel like in the absence of a face-to-face class, it's helpful sometimes to know where the professor is coming from. So as I said, my name is Stephen Todd. I've been an adjunct professor with the King's University since 2005, right after I finished my doctorate, and Pastor Jack Hayford actually asked me if I would consider teaching at what was then a teaching site in Colorado Springs, where I still live currently. And that eventually became an extension campus. And from 2014 through 2017, I was actually asked to come on staff, and I was the director of that extension campus. Well, if you want to see the kind of the high altitude view of my ministry experience, I came to Christ as a young child in a conservative Christian home growing up in Southern California in the Los Angeles area. I was completely swept up in the Jesus movement. I became a worship leader and then eventually an associate pastor at what was an exploding, growing Jesus People church in Southern California. Then a number of years after that, my wife and I and one child at the time, we moved to Denver, Colorado, where I became the associate pastor of a large Jesus movement church there that was actually becoming one of the first vineyard churches, if you're familiar with the vineyard congregations. A few years later, they sent us down to Colorado Springs. I planted a church, my wife Linda and I did, and I served as the lead pastor at the Vineyard Church in Colorado Springs for another 16, 17 years. And then at the end of 1999, I took a rather major step, and we felt like it was God leading us and the counsel of a lot of folks around us. And I made a transition into a mission role. I began to work with an organization that trains pastors and leaders in Africa. To date, I've been to Africa 48 times, and I've been able to train, and so thankful for the opportunity to train tens of thousands of African pastors and leaders. Well, I'm getting older, as you can see. I've got what you can't see is I've got multiple artificial joints. I've got 2 fake knees. I've got a artificial shoulder and another shoulder and a spine that I had surgery on. And so the last couple of years, I've kind of landed that plane and into some semi-retirement because I just can't continue to travel like I was. But I'm still active with the King's University, teaching and helping to equip students. During this same period of time, the church we've been involved in for many years since I stepped out of my pastorate, we were originally a congregation within the large megachurch, New Life Church here in Colorado Springs. And over the last year, we became our own separate congregation in downtown Colorado Springs, and we're called Communion of Saints Downtown. It's a very large church. We have about 1,000 to 1,200 people, and we just have a wonderful time there. I'm actually one of the founding elders, and so that's where I currently serve. I preach occasionally, and my wife and I are very, very involved in that. So that's who I am and what I'm doing these days. So for this class, I will have a weekly, and almost always by Monday morning. Sometimes when I'm really on top of things, it might even be Sunday night that I publish it. There will be a very short, what I call a weekly expectations video, where I just tell you in a couple of minutes kind of like what that week entails. And I'll send all of this out to you. You'll have it both in written form and in video form. And so about 2/3 of our semester on a weekly basis, we'll have some kind of short little video. Often it's an interview with some wonderful and amazing Christian leaders that I've known over the years who wanted to speak into your lives in this practicum. And so we show that short little video, and then there will always be one discussion thread. That's just to engage all of us together so we can walk through this process as a cohort of students and a professor all together and learn and see what God is teaching us through this. And I guess one of my other jobs, according to the one dean who actually originally hired me, he said, your job is to get everybody kicking, screaming, or carrying them, or whatever you got to do to get across the finish line. We want to see each one of you succeed, and you're going to. So you can reach out to me. You've got my contact information in the syllabus and the portal. I would say that email would probably be the best initial way of asking me a question. I check the email all the time. But you're welcome to call or text me. If you do, I would suggest texting me first, because if you're not in my contacts, it will show up and I won't know who it is, so I may not answer the call. So text me, email me. I am here for you, and I look forward to this coming semester. We're going to have a great time. God bless you guys.